No More Mr. Nice Guy, by Robert A. Glover. Introduction. Let me tell you about a man named Jason. To the outside world, Jason had it all. He was a successful chiropractor in his mid-30s, with a wife, a new baby, and what he described as a perfect life. He was, in his own words, one of the nicest guys you could ever hope to meet. He was generous, hated conflict, and his greatest joy came from making other people happy. But behind closed doors, a silent crisis was unfolding. It had been months since he and his wife had been intimate, and there was no change in sight. He'd do everything, right? Get the baby ready in the morning, clean the entire kitchen, only for his wife to find the one small thing he'd done wrong. The one outfit she didn't want the baby to wear. The one countertop he hadn't wiped down yet. He felt a constant, simmering resentment. After everything he did for her, for everyone, why wasn't he getting the love and appreciation he felt he deserved? He pleaded, like a little boy lost, "All I want is to be loved and appreciated." Is that too much to ask? Jason's story is not unique. It's a quiet epidemic, one that therapists drive. Robert A. Glover spent years observing in his practice and, most importantly, in his own life. He saw countless men just like Jason, good, giving, caring men who were secretly frustrated, resentful, and deeply unhappy. They were all following an unwritten rulebook, a script they believed would lead to happiness, but which was, in fact, the very source of their misery. In his groundbreaking book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Drive, Glover gives this condition a name, the nice guy syndrome. It's a book that has become an underground classic, a lifeline for millions of men who feel trapped by their own need to please. It's not a book about becoming a jerk or a selfish tyrant. Far from it. It's a book about becoming a whole, integrated man. Today, we're going to unravel the myth of the nice guy. I promise you that by the end of our time together, you'll understand why the path of constant approval seeking is a dead end. You'll see how this pattern is formed, why it fails, and most importantly, you'll discover the proven path to reclaiming your personal power, building authentic confidence, and finally getting what you truly want in love, sex, and life. This isn't just about changing your behavior, it's about changing the very foundation of how you see yourself. Book summary. So, what exactly is this nice guy syndrome? Imagine you've been given a map to a hidden treasure. The map says, be good, be giving, avoid conflict, and always put others first. If you follow these directions, you will find happiness, love, and a problem-free life. You follow this map religiously. You give when you'd rather not, you say yes when you mean no, and you swallow your own feelings to keep the peace. But the treasure is never there. Instead, you just find yourself more lost, more frustrated, and more resentful. That, in a nutshell, is the nice guy's dilemma. Drive. Glover says the nice guy operates from a single, flawed belief: if I am good, giving, and caring, then in return I will be happy, loved, and fulfilled. But it's a myth. And when this strategy inevitably fails, what does the nice guy do? He doesn't question the map. He just tries harder, doing more of the same, digging himself deeper into a hole of his own making. This is why Drive. Glover says the term nice guy is often a misnomer. Because beneath that pleasing exterior, a storm is brewing. These men are often anything but nice. They're dishonest, hiding their mistakes and repressing their true feelings. They're secretive, living by the motto, if at first you don't succeed, hide the evidence. They're manipulative, using indirect methods and covert contracts to get their needs met instead of just asking directly. They are often passive-aggressive, expressing their resentment by being late, forgetting things, or being emotionally unavailable. And deep down, they are filled with a repressed rage that can erupt at the most unexpected times. Their partners often describe them as having a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality. One moment, he's the most thoughtful man in the world, fixing dinner and picking up the kids. The next, he's throwing a tantrum because he feels unappreciated. Everyone else thinks he's a great catch, but his partner sees the sulking, the emotional walls, and the pressure cooker of unspoken frustration. The goal, drive. Glover stresses, isn't to become the opposite of a nice guy, a jerk. The opposite of crazy is still crazy. The goal is to become an integrated male. An integrated man isn't trying to be perfect or win a popularity contest. He's a man who accepts all parts of himself, his power and his imperfections, his assertiveness and his mistakes, his courage and his dark side. He likes himself just as he is. He takes responsibility for his own needs, and he isn't afraid of conflict because he knows he can handle it. This journey from nice guy to integrated male is a complete change in one's personal paradigm. It's like throwing away that old, useless treasure map and learning to navigate by the stars. So, where does this faulty map come from in the first place? How is a nice guy made? To understand this, we have to go back to the very beginning. Every child enters the world in a state of total dependency. Their greatest, most primal fear is abandonment, because to a child, abandonment means death. At the same time, children are naturally ego-centered. They believe they are the cause of everything that happens to them. Now, combine these two things. When a child's needs aren't met, when they're hungry and no one feeds them, when they cry and no one holds them, when a parent is angry or absent or uses them to meet their own needs, the child doesn't think, "My parents are stressed or flawed." They think, "I must have done something wrong. There must be something bad about me that caused this." This is the birth of what drive Glover calls toxic shame. It's not the healthy shame of making a mistake. It's a deep, core belief that you are a mistake. It's the feeling that you are inherently bad, defective, or unlovable. In response to this pain and fear, the child develops survival mechanisms. He creates a new life script, a new map. For the boy who will become a nice guy, that script is, if being my true self is bad and dangerous, then I must hide who I really am. I will hide my needs, hide my flaws, and become what I think others want me to be. I will become good. Then, I will be safe. Then, I will be loved. Drive. Glover shows us how this plays out through the stories of men like Alan, Jason, and Jose. Alan's father was an abusive alcoholic, so Alan made a vow to be the exact opposite, patient, giving, and never angry. Jason's parents were perfect, so he spent his life trying to live up to an impossible standard, always feeling inadequate. Jose grew up in a chaotic, dysfunctional home and learned that his value came from being the fixer, the one who kept everything together. Though their childhoods were different, the result was the same. Each one of them received the message that it was not okay to be who they were. They internalized this toxic shame and created a life strategy based on hiding their true selves and seeking approval. This personal dynamic was then amplified by massive social changes that took place after World War II. Fathers, who once worked alongside their sons on farms, went off to factories and offices, becoming distant or absent figures. The job of raising boys and teaching them how to be men was largely left to women, to mothers, and a female-dominated school system. At the same time, the feminist movement, while essential, sometimes sent the message that traditional masculinity was inherently bad or toxic. This perfect storm created a generation of men who were disconnected from their fathers, disconnected from other men, and dependent on the approval of women. They adopted a female perspective on what it meant to be a man, believing they had to suppress any trait, like aggression, competitiveness, or assertiveness, that might be labeled as bad. They became the sensitive new age guys, the soft males, the nice guys. And now, drive. Glover observes, we are well into our third generation of them. This brings us to one of the most powerful and counterintuitive ideas in the book. The nice guy strategies for getting love and approval are the very things that push it away. Let's start with approval seeking. The nice guy is a chameleon. He'll become whatever he thinks the person in front of him wants him to be. Drive. Glover calls the things nice guys use to get validation attachments. They attach their self-worth to external things: their nice car, their sharp intellect, their attractive wife, their reputation for being helpful. The ultimate attachment, of course, is being a nice guy. They believe their goodness compensates for their secret, internalized badness. This quest for approval is most intense with women. A woman's approval is seen as the ultimate validation of their worth. A smile, a flirtatious comment, or her desire for sex makes them feel valuable. Her anger, sadness, or bad mood is interpreted as a personal rejection. This gives women immense power over the nice guy's emotional state. He constantly monitors her mood, walking on eggshells to avoid upsetting her. If she's happy, he can relax. If she's not, he feels anxious and believes it's his job to fix it. But here's the cruel irony: most women don't want a man who tries to please them. They want a man who knows how to please himself. By constantly seeking her approval, the nice guy comes across as weak and lacking a center of his own. The very behavior he thinks makes him a catch is what often causes her to lose attraction and respect. This leads us to the second failed strategy: covert contracts. This is the secret engine running the nice guy's world. A covert contract is an unspoken, unconscious agreement that goes like this: I will do this for you, so that you will do this for me, and we will both pretend this agreement doesn't exist. It's the classic give-to-get strategy. The nice guy will offer a back rub, not just to be kind, but with the unspoken expectation of sex later. He'll listen to all her problems, hoping she'll appreciate him and never leave. He'll do the dishes, not as a shared responsibility, but as a transaction he hopes will earn him praise or prevent a fight. The entire nice guy paradigm, if I'm good, then I'll be loved, is just one giant covert contract with life itself. The problem? The other person never signed this contract. They have no idea it even exists. So when they don't hold up their end of the imaginary bargain, the nice guy feels cheated, frustrated, and deeply resentful. This resentment builds and builds, leading directly to the explosive cycle drive. Glover calls the victim triangle. It has 3 parts. 1. The nice guy gives and gives, hoping to get something back. That's the covert contract. 2. When he doesn't get what he expected, he feels like a victim. He keeps a mental scorecard, and in his mind, he's always giving more than he gets. 3. Eventually, the frustration and resentment become too much to contain, and it spills out in what his wife aptly named a victim puke. This can be a rage attack, a tantrum, passive-aggressive behavior like forgetting an important task, or a secret act of rebellion like having an affair. Once the puke is over, the nice guy feels guilty and ashamed, and what does he do? He goes right back to step 1, trying even harder to be nice to make up for it, and the cycle begins all over again. This is the drive. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde dynamic that leaves his partner feeling confused and on edge, and leaves the nice guy feeling trapped and powerless. So, if this map is so wrong, what does the right one look like? How does a man break free and become that strong, centered, integrated male? The first and most terrifying step is to please the only person who really matters: yourself. This isn't about becoming selfish in a negative way. It's about shifting your source of validation from the outside world to your own core. It means you stop asking, "What do they want from me?" and start asking, "What do I want?" This process begins with identifying your approval-seeking behaviors. Drive. Glover suggests a powerful exercise. Pick one of your attachments, one way you try to look good, like keeping your car perfectly clean, and go on a moratorium. For 1 month, don't wash it. You'll feel a squirming discomfort, a fear that people are judging you. But at the end of the month, you'll realize a profound truth: no one really cared. Your value was never tied to that shiny car. The next step is to make your needs a priority. From childhood, nice guys learned that having needs was bad. They tried to become low maintenance to avoid being a burden. As adults, they feel selfish for putting themselves first. Drive. Glover tells them a hard but liberating truth: no one was put on this planet to meet your needs. And you weren't put here to meet anyone else's needs either, except for your dependent children. Taking responsibility for your own needs is the antidote to the victim triangle. When you stop using covert contracts and start asking for what you want directly, the manipulation and resentment disappear. A simple act, like Lars from the book deciding to go to the gym every day for a week despite his wife's initial resistance, can be revolutionary. At first, he felt guilty. But soon, he felt more energized, and surprisingly, his wife became inspired by his commitment to himself and started taking better care of herself too. Putting yourself first doesn't push people away, it draws them to you. Confidence is attractive. Neediness is not. This leads to the heart of the transformation: reclaiming your personal power. Drive. Glover defines personal power as a state of mind where you are confident you can handle whatever life throws at you. It isn't the absence of fear, it's feeling the fear and acting anyway. Reclaiming this power involves several key practices. The first is surrender. This doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of what you can't control. Life is chaotic. Trying to make it smooth and problem-free is a futile battle against reality. Surrender means accepting this chaos and viewing every challenge not as a threat, but as a gift from the universe designed to help you grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" The second is setting boundaries. Nice guys are notoriously bad at this. They're afraid to say no because they don't want to rock the boat. Drive. Glover uses a simple exercise with a shoestring on the floor to show how they let people walk all over them. Learning to set boundaries isn't about controlling others, it's about teaching them how you expect to be treated. It's about honoring yourself. When you set a firm boundary with your partner, she may test it at first, but ultimately, she will feel safer and respect you more. She knows that a man who will stand up to her is a man who will stand up for her. The third is facing your fears. Nice guys are governed by what drive. Glover calls memory fear, the cellular level memory of the helplessness and terror they felt as children. This fear paralyzes them as adults, keeping them stuck in bad jobs and bad relationships. The only way to overcome it is to face it head-on, one small step at a time, while repeating the mantra, "No matter what happens, I can handle it." A crucial part of this journey is reclaiming your masculinity. Due to their upbringing, nice guys are often disconnected from other men and from their own masculine energy. They may see other men as jerks and pride themselves on being different. This cuts them off from the immense power and support of male companionship. Drive. Glover argues that connecting with men is essential. It helps break the dependency on female approval. When a man has a strong network of male friends, he's less likely to crumble if his wife or girlfriend is upset with him. It provides a space where there is no sexual agenda, allowing for a different kind of depth and honesty. It also helps break the unconscious monogamous bond that many nice guys have with their mothers, freeing them up to be fully available to their partners. Reclaiming masculinity also means getting physically strong. Taking care of your body, exercising, eating well, builds a foundation of self-respect and confidence that radiates into every other area of your life. It means re-examining your relationship with your father, seeing him not as a caricature to react against, but as a flawed human being, and accepting the male heritage you share. When a nice guy starts to integrate these principles, his relationships inevitably transform. He stops co-creating dysfunctional systems where he needs to fix a broken partner to feel valuable. He starts to see his partner not as the source of his problems, but as a gift who helps him see his own childhood wounds. This allows real intimacy to blossom, an intimacy built on two whole people, not two halves trying to complete each other. And then there's sex. For the nice guy, sex is where all his shame, fear, and dysfunctional patterns converge. He might complain about not getting enough, but in reality, his own behaviors, his vagiphobia, his need to be a good lover by focusing only on her pleasure, his hidden sexual compulsions, and his general lack of life energy, are what create a dissatisfying sex life. The path to good sex, drive, Glover says, starts with coming out of the closet. You must bring all your sexual shame and fear into the light by talking about it with safe people, like a therapist or a men's group. You cannot do this work alone. Second, you must take responsibility for your own pleasure. This means practicing healthy masturbation, not as a compulsive, goal-oriented act hidden in shame, but as a way to connect with your own body and learn what feels good, without fantasy or pornography to distract you from your real feelings. Until you can give pleasure to yourself without shame, you'll never be able to truly receive it from another. And finally, you must be willing to say no to bad sex. Nice guys are bottom feeders. They settle for scraps, believing that bad sex is better than no sex. It isn't. Good sex happens when two people take full responsibility for their own pleasure, when there are no goals or agendas, and when it is an unfolding of spontaneous energy. To get there, you must be willing to let go of what you have to get what you truly want. As a man reclaims his power in his relationships and his sex life, he naturally starts to question the final frontier, his life's purpose. Nice guys rarely live up to their full potential. Fear, the need to do everything right, self-sabotage, and a belief in scarcity keep them stuck in mediocrity. They stay in jobs they hate and let their dreams gather dust. The solution is the same: face your fears, chart your own path, and stop trying to be perfect. Let go of the belief that the world is a place of deprivation and embrace the reality of abundance. Create your own rules for success, measured by only one standard. Do they work? The journey from a passive, pleasing nice guy to a powerful, integrated man is not easy. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to feel uncomfortable. But it is a journey toward freedom. Freedom to be who you really are. Freedom from the desperate need for approval. And the freedom to finally create the life you've always wanted. Commentary. When you step back and look at No More Mr. Nice Guy, you realize it's more than just a self-help book for men. It's a profound commentary on a cultural script that many of us, men and women alike, have been handed. It's the script that tells us that our worth is external, that it's something to be earned through performance and pleasing others. What makes Drive? Glover's work so powerful is its relentless honesty. It holds up a mirror and forces us to look at the not-so-nice motivations behind our nicest behaviors. The caretaking that is really a form of control. The giving that is really a transaction. The peacekeeping that is really just fear of conflict. It's uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly liberating. It gives us a language for the quiet frustration that so many people feel but can't name. In a world dominated by social media, where every post is a performance and every like is a hit of validation, the message of this book is more critical than ever. The pressure to be a nice guy, or a nice girl, is immense. We're encouraged to present a polished, perfect and pleasing version of ourselves to the world, while hiding our flaws, our needs, and our true feelings. Drive. Glover's work is a powerful antidote to this. It's a call to authenticity, a reminder that true connection doesn't come from being perfect, it comes from being real. Imperfect humans can only connect with other imperfect humans. It's our rough edges that give others something to hold on to. The book's most enduring lesson is about the nature of power. We often think of power as control over others or our circumstances. But Drive. Glover shows us that real power is internal. It's the quiet confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's the freedom that comes from taking 100% responsibility for your own needs and your own happiness. It's realizing that you are the only one who holds the key to your own life. If you're ready to start applying these ideas, here are 3 simple, practical actions you can take today. 1. Identify one covert contract in your life. This week, notice one area where you are giving to get. Maybe you're being extra helpful to a friend, hoping they'll do you a favor later. Just notice it. Acknowledging the hidden transaction is the first step to breaking the pattern. 2. Do one thing purely for yourself. It could be small. Take a 30-minute walk alone, buy yourself a coffee, or listen to an album you love without interruption. Do it without needing to justify it or get anyone's permission. This is a small act of prioritizing your own needs. 3. Practice a small, honest no. The next time someone asks you for something you don't genuinely want to do, politely decline. You don't need a long excuse. A simple, "I won't be able to make it," is enough. Feel the discomfort, and then feel the freedom that comes after. That was a summary of No More Mr. Nice Guy, by Robert A. Glover. We've touched on the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only ever be a signpost. The real journey happens when you walk the path yourself. The true magic is in the quiet moments when a story from the book hits you in a way you didn't expect, and you see your own life reflected in its pages. This summary is here to help you decide if this is a path you want to walk. If anything we've talked about has struck a chord, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning, it's an experience that can fundamentally change the way you see yourself and your place in the world. Also, if you found this summary valuable, please consider liking and subscribing. We explore a new, life-changing book from the Billionaire's Bookshelf in every episode, and I'd be honored to have you join us on the journey. Let's keep growing together.